Hello everyone, this is Professor Reha here with an updated beginner's guide to hunters in Arena. Now I'm re-updating this for a couple of reasons. First, Nate wanted to know very specifically, hey, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? I want a step-by-step thing. But I've also received some, not necessarily criticism, but a friendly word of advice from one of my commenters that talking during a match can get really heavy. There's a lot going on. I don't cover everything. And part of that is because I'm also talking about my build during the match. So what I'm going to be doing in this episode, this is the beginner's guide, is I'm going to cover what I intend to build first. Okay? Then go into the match, talk about my strategy, talk about what I'm thinking, mention in brief, since I'll already have covered a lot of it here in this prologue, mention in brief why I'm picking specific items, and then going back to my strategy. Now for the beginner's guide, this whole series, I'm going to go into first arena, then joust, then slash, then conquest. I'm choosing this order for a very specific bunch of reasons. I'm starting with arena for two reasons. One, that is where Nate originally commented, was the ADC guide to arena. Second, arena is really where you as a hunter main can come to grips with how a hunter works in team fights, because most other modes, slash and conquest primarily, in the late game devolve into really messy team fights. Arena is just one constant messy team fight. So if you want to test how a hunter does in team fights specifically, you take them to arena. I build differently for each mode, obviously. You have to adjust to the circumstances. But when I think about arena, and I think about playing a hunter in arena, I divide all hunters into one of two categories. Mage competing and not mage competing. What does this mean? I'm going to take the character I will be playing for this series, Neith, as an example. Neith is mage competing. Why? She has, very specifically, two really great wave clear abilities. She's got Spirit Arrow, which will pass through and wipe a whole wave by itself, and she's got Unravel, which will clean up anything left over. It's a sizable AoE. These are both really fantastic abilities for clearing waves at a safe distance. Why does this matter? In Arena specifically. Mages usually suck up all of the minions. It's just how they're designed. It's not their fault. But if you're intending on building stacks, and I usually like to, you have to adjust your build mildly, depending on whether or not you can out-clear the mages on your team. Neith can do this with these two abilities, plus her regular auto attacks. So when I approach building Neith, I am approaching Neith with the knowledge that she is what I define as mage competing. She can out-clear a mage, in theory. Now, something else I want to specifically mention about Neith is all of her abilities deal damage, and she's got absurdly high scaling on top of that. 120% scaling on World Weaver, 80% on Backflip, 80% on Unravel, and 90% on Spirit Arrow. This will become important when we're building Neith. Now, when I'm building Neith for Arena, she's mage competing. She's got really good abilities that all hit for really strong damage. As a result, I start with Bluestone Pendant on her. Now, this is primarily because, again, she is mage competing. She's got great abilities for this. There aren't a whole lot of hunters that I will build Bluestone on, and I will mention them in passing specifically for this episode because this is a beginner's guide, not a Neith guide. I tend to also build Bluestone on Amazon Cobb, Chiron, Uller. Hunters like this. Hunters with in some way or another, have multiple abilities that can help clear a wave. In Amazon Cobb's case, he can only do this with Bluestone, interestingly enough. His Beast Swarm is fine, but he only really does substantial damage with the bee-infested honey if he's got Bluestone and the Crusher. We're not going to get too deep into the weeds of Amazon Cobb's builds. Just know that I consider him conditionally mage competing. But those are the kinds of hunters I'm talking about. Izanami is mage competing without abilities. She's a different scenario. But for the most part, those really those hunters that have enough abilities that deal damage, I'm typically going to build bluestone on them. Now, the crux here is very specifically Transcendence. Transcendence, if you can build it fast enough in Arena, is dominating. You are increasing your power by a really impressive amount. Now, in this particular case, it's saying Transcendence is providing me with 74 power. That does not include the massive amount of mana you get for the stacks. That's 15 by 50. That is specifically 750, right? Which is additionally a 23, I'm rounding up here, a 23 boost in power, so the actual amount of power you get out of Transcendence, excluding all other items, is 96. Right? So it's actually supposed to be 96. Unfortunately, they don't show that to you. We, of course, have this. So that's a really impressive amount of power. Now, what is the second item I build? For mage competing hunters, that depends. Neith has a very strong form of crowd control in the form of her Spirit Arrow. That is a very powerful root. My third item typically is going to be Hydra's Lament, because that root is a near guaranteed hit on your next auto attack. And combine that with the 96 power out of Transcendence, and you've got a really hard-hitting follow-up basic. And that really slaps people down for an impressive amount of damage. Alright? So I will build this on pretty much any hunter that has strong crowd control. Other examples would be Uller, would be Ishtar, would be... I'm trying to think off the top of my head here. Uller, Ishtar... Why am I thinking brain cramp? Carnanos with his root, with his brambles. Great option. Hoagie with his stun. These are some prime examples. I'll build Hydra's Lament on them. My fourth item in Arena is very specifically going to be Executioner. I don't usually feel the need to build Penetration on hunters in Arena. Penetration is primarily for taking towers and phoenixes because Executioner doesn't affect towers and phoenixes. If you didn't know that, you're welcome. Executioner does nothing to these. So for Conquest, for Slash, for Joust, you typically want percentage penetration. Sometimes you still build Executioner, it really depends. That's a conversation for those other modes. But for Arena, there are no towers, there are no phoenixes. The Executioner is fine. Which version of the Executioner I build really depends on whether I'm mage competing or not. In a lot of cases, mage competing hunters, because they usually don't have the highest attack speed, there are exceptions, but if you have a lower attack speed, typically I'll build the heavy Executioner. If they have better attack speed, they've got really good attack speed, typically I'll build the ferocious Executioner. But either way, because you're primarily fighting gods here, not towers, the Executioner is the move. Okay? For Neith, by the way, specifically, I usually go with the Ferocious Executioner, because she has an attack speed self-buff on her self-heal, the Unravel. Not a lot of people know that these days. She's got an attack speed buff on that. So, typically, Heavy Executioner is a waste. Now, this is the point, after the first four items, that my build on Neith tends to vary depending on the situation. At this point, for my fifth and sixth items, I pick one of three items. Let me show these to you really quick. Shifter's Shield. Oops. Chin Size. Or the Crusher. Or possibly, for Neith very specifically, Brawler's Beatstick. Now, if the enemy team has enough self-heal, Brawler's Beatstick, obviously. If the enemy team composition is heavy on the damage and light on the tankiness, I'll build either the Crusher or Shifter's Shield, or both if the enemy team doesn't have a whole lot of healing. If the enemy team is tanky, I'll build Chin Size, usually instead of the Crusher or Brawler's Beatstick, depending on what the situation calls for. Okay? So we're going to clear this. We're going to go on ahead and set this up. Oh, and at the end of the match, I usually go for the Corrupted Bluestone, both for the attack speed increase, the 75 physical damage rather than the 50 plus 6% of their current health. I just find the 75, at least on even mage competing hunters, to be more effective overall. And again, you want that attack speed. And of course, the increased protections are really nice if you have Shifter's Shield, which, again, sometimes I do. So typically, I'll finish up with Corrupted Bluestone over the Bluestone brooch. I almost called it the Bluestone pendant, even though I knew that was wrong. So we'll set this up. We have our lovely Bluestone pendant. And we'll just go on ahead and keep this damage here. Transcendence I build. Hydrozoment I build. We're going to go for the Morningstar here. I typically will build either the Crusher or Brawler's Beatstick, so we're going to go for the Heavy Mace. And then over here, you almost always Executioner, like I said before. And sometimes Chin Size. For defensive, Shifter's Shield. Right? That's what I generally approach with. Relics. We have Beads. And we have Aegis. Consumables. I don't use consumables in Arena, specifically because the distance to the the fountain is so short. Not really necessary. So we've got our build set up. Now we're going to go into Arena. We're going to queue up. Now I have, nice quick 10 seconds. I have a technique for non-conquest game modes to alert everyone, hey, I'm going to be playing this role. And maybe you do this, maybe you don't. But let me show you what I do. You'll see me do this a lot from these episodes onwards if I keep this format. And please let me know if you like this format over what I previously did, format-wise. So we're going into the match. We're going to the God Selection. We're paying attention. And first thing we're going to do is find a hunter, because I want to play a hunter. So I'm going to grab the first hunter I see. In this case, it was Charybdis. And then I'm going to go down, and I'm going to pick Neith, the hunter I actually want to play. Why do I do this? This alerts my teammates, my future teammates, hey, I want to play this specific role. It's not necessarily an insta grab. I knew I wanted to play Neith. I knew I wasn't going to be able to necessarily scroll down, but I knew I wanted to play Neith. Pick a hunter, then find the hunter you actually want to play. Typically, for hunters, I'll grab either Artemis or Charybdis, because they're just right there. Now, right from here, I'm already going to be starting to think about the match. I see I have two mages. Okay, let's see if there's any frontline. If I'm lacking frontline on my team, I am much more likely to build Shifter's Shield. Because with less frontline, the more likely I am to be targeted and singled out by the enemy damage dealers. As a hunter, I don't want that. My job is to eliminate the enemy tanks. That is what a hunter does. And the Minotaur, should that come through. So that's primarily what I'm looking at for my targeting. Who I want to specifically track down and eliminate. Let's see. Let's go for Midnight Glamour. Why not? Okay, so we have Aphrodite, we have Amaterasu, we have Bacchus. Alright, this is a pretty good front line. I like this. This is good. Okay, so I don't necessarily need Shifter Shield. Now I'm looking at the enemy comp at this point. We have Discordia, Tiamat, Atlas, Kumbhakarna, and Xbalanque. I'm not seeing a lot of self-heal, so Brawler's Speedstick is very likely off the table. I'm seeing only two frontline tanks. Tiamat has damage mitigation. Maybe I still build Chin Size. I still might build Shifter's Shield at this point. They have 3 damage dealers. What I'm kind of leaning towards for my 5th and 6th items are Shifter's Shield and Chin Size very specifically. But that's going to depend on how the enemy actually builds. This is just what I'm thinking right now. More likely, in the late game, it's going to be Shifter's Shield, it's going to be Chin Size, in that order. But we'll see. Because our first 4 items really don't change. Now, there is one change I might make if the enemy team was really tanky. If the enemy team was really tanky, I might do Executioner as my 3rd item and Hydrozoment as my 4th, but that's just a swap between those 2 items. I still always build them. So here we go. Going to build Bluestone, we're going to build our Morningstar. Now, Beads or Aegis? They've got Atlas, they've got Kumbhakarna, that's a lot of crowd control, but it's only those 2 very specifically. right? The rest of the enemy team primarily doesn't hit too hard with the crowd control. And what crowd control they do have, I can backflip out of. Discordia's root, backflip. The slow from the tornado from Tiamat, backflip. She's got to pop up, but beads aren't going to do anything there either. I might get hit by the golden apple, which is a scary prospect. I'm going to go for the Aegis amulet. I think overall it's going to be the more effective relic to start with. Alright, so here we go. We're going to grab these, and then we're going to let her pick that up so that we can come around here. We didn't need to. Alright. Do this then. Okay, I was kind of hoping to get the multiple shots off to hit both of them, but unfortunately we didn't get that to happen. That's fine. Now what we're going to do is we're going to throw our abilities out, and we're going to kind of back off a little bit here. We just want to damage the wave. It's not like we're looking for stacks or anything. We're going to try not to get picked out. I don't want to go on Sheep Blanca because he's got his dash. He would just get out of the root. I wouldn't do any damage. I'd lose my root. Let's take this slow. Let's see what happens. Alright, there's that. Clear the wave here, slowly, cautiously. Throw the root out there. Alright, they're making a move. It's not at me, so we're going to save our backflip. Alright. I'm looking at the Kumbhakarna here. I'm looking at the Atlas here. Hold on. Hello. Nope. Back it up. We're too far up. Clear this wave. Nox is having a bit of trouble over here. I'm just trying to force him out. It did not work. He stayed up. Stun him really quick. Atlas absorb that. You're going to find, as Neith specifically, that her ult really doesn't make a big difference in Arena. You're mostly going to be using it as a long-range stun for the most part. Once you have 1 point in it, you really aren't going to be paying too much attention to your ult. We're going to have to dive in here to help out these people. I'm looking at this. Good. We're looking at Discordia next, I think. Nope, I missed. Okay, she's out. Yeah. We're going to have to back out of here. There's too many people right here. He dove too deep. This is looking ugly. Nope, we're out. There's nothing more I can do there. We're going to also pretty soon be building our Transcendence. It only needs 100 more gold. We're just going to run back, because by the time we get back, we'll have enough for Transcendence. You want to run back and get this as quickly as possible, so you start building those stacks. There we go. We're going to backflip out of here for a bit more distance, and we're going to see what's going on here. Alright, Bacchus is going in. Who's he going in on? Can I? Yes. We're going to go ahead and pick on you a little bit here. I'm not sure why you're aggressing on me so hard. Alright, they had to back up. I'm not too surprised. But Shibalonke has stayed up. Interesting. That's fine. Alright. That's probably why. I could have backflipped out of that. I didn't need to. We're just going to get some damage on Kumbhakarna here. We're not going to kill him yet. We don't have our Executioner, so we don't have our Hydrosummon either. Just going to kill those for the stacks, increase our self-heal. Missed those stacks, but we rooted Atlas. That's fine. He's going to back up. We're going to... Alright. Not sure how you got that, but sure. Back up, because I don't want to get put to sleep by Kumbhakarna. That'd probably be fatal with all those enemies there. One of those rare opportunities for... not enough damage. That's fair enough. Not only did I get those minions, I got Kumbhakarna in that too. Alright. They took care of him over there, which is great. Heal up off of this. Grab some stacks. Increase our Spirit Arrow because our ult doesn't matter. It's got the 1 point. That's all we need. We're going to treat this a little cautiously here. Atlas could single us out if we don't want. Tiamat's looking at me. She can hit pretty hard. Grabbing our stacks. She's going to probably... okay, there she goes. I thought she was going to jump on me, to be honest. I was ready to backflip. Still ready to backflip. Oh, okay. Saw that glitch earlier. I'm not surprised I did that. I'm not too surprised I did that. I'm not taking enough damage here to be worried about. Grab some stacks. Teammate's still trying to go for me. This is as it should be. And again, I'm taking it very slow. I'm looking to build my stacks. I don't have my Hydras of Men or Executioner yet. I'm just looking to support my team in the ways they need. Looking for opportunities, but haven't really seen any good ones. We're going to back up. Kumbha kind of put me to sleep there. That probably would have been fatal. We're going to go back while we're here. Going to grab at least some of Hydra's Lament. Get a little bit more damage in there. If Kumbhakarna comes back up, we might be able to kill him. No, he's not going to. This might be an opportunity to kill Atlas. There he goes. Good. Root was good. I was hoping that would kill some minions, but it did not. Oh, I didn't need that. Okay. I couldn't see prospectively what that was doing. Alright. 5.5 minutes in. 32 stacks. Not bad. Could be better. Could be worse. Alright. We're going to take... No, that's not a risk I want. No, we're just going to... No. I was going to say we were just going to go back, but there's no real need to. Or we actually have a fight over here for some reason. I'm not going to bother trying to block him out. We're going to backflip because I don't want to get put to sleep. Trying to... There we go. Yeah, I was going to say I'm too far up. They're trying to single me out right now. Nope, thank you. I completely missed that. We're not going to be falling victim to any ults here. We're going to go ahead and get some healing here, and we're going to go back, grab this Hydra's Lament, and we're going to start on Executioner. You're too far up. You shouldn't be here. Did I root her? I think... No, I didn't. Oh, I overcorrected. Goodbye. Okay, we're almost done with our stacks. This is good. We need 3 more. Okay, we have Aphrodite. That's easy stacks. Oop. Missed that completely, but that's fine. Take care of that little problem. Again, one of those rare moments where that actually is used for finishing someone off in the damage. Alright. We're starting to deal our damage, so we can get a little bit more aggressive here with this. I completely missed that shot because I'm a goof. Bacchus with attack speed, as you do. I'm not expecting that. Yeah, it didn't matter whether or not I hit that. He was just going to dash out of it either way. Just would have been a bit of damage. That's fine. Not sure why he bothered. Nope, I know what you're trying to do there. Oh. Aegis for the win. Okay, we gotta get out of here. We're gonna go this way. Otherwise I'm gonna get singled out and eliminated. Shibalanki could probably have dashed to me if he really wanted to if I'd gone the other way. Grab our beads, we're gonna need that. We're gonna save up for our Ferocious Executioner. At this particular point in time. Alright, we have our stacks. Got our Hydra's Lament. You can see the damage output here. Backflip there. Is he going to die to those birds? He's not. Scordy blocked it. Accidentally, but still. It's fine. Again, I ignored the Shibalanke because I knew even if I rooted him, he'd just dash out of it. So it didn't matter. Alright. You corrected exactly where I thought you would. Just do some damage there. She shouldn't have committed so hard on that. I don't know what she's doing. Here's Kumbhakarna back here. Not really a big concern. I overcorrected again. No, you don't. I don't want to get eliminated by Shibalanke right there. This could be a problem if... Oh, yeah, there we go. I was going to say this might be problematic, and it was. Alright, at this particular point in time, I'm taking some pretty good damage. I'm going to want to go for the Shifter's Shield. I'll grab the Crusher afterwards because they aren't tanky enough to necessarily require chin size, so we're just going to go with Shifter's Shield. Did I miss that? I missed some of that. I'm not going to be able to keep up with... hold on. Nope. That's fine. Heal up off of this, see what we can do. Alright, we gotta get rid of this Minotaur. Not too big of a deal. Good. I want to heal off of something. I think they're committing too far here. Nope, we're out of here. What in tarnation are we doing over here? Goodbye. Nope, we're gonna bead that so we can kill you, or not. At least we won't get locked down. I'm set. Bye. Good. Excellent. Alright, now we're going to start increasing our ult because it's all we've got left. Nope, didn't need that. Hold on. Ah, Discordia. Abandon my existence. Alright, at this point, I know that they're retreating, so I can grab those minions, and then I can... Oh, no, she's got me healed up. Yeah, I'm just going to go back anyways. I need my shifter shield. Starting to pay a bit more attention to me. Gonna go back here, grab this. There we go. Alright. What are you doing? She didn't go in the direction I thought she was going to. Slow you down. You've got my ferocious executioner on you. Then I couldn't see you. Alright. This is interesting. Backflip. He outpaced me? Interesting. You Aegis that. Alright. I miscalculated that one. Depth perception is off clearly. Alright. Back up. I don't want to be singled out and killed because they have Tiamat and Discordia there. If I get locked down by Kumbhakarna, that's going to be trouble for me. Spirit Arrow Hydra's Lament combo. Knew that was going to kill her if I could get that, and I did. Backflip out of here. Shublanca is kind of scary. And I'm going to die. So what's going to happen here? Nope. Some mad jukes and a really impressive move by Nox there. I was going to say he should be able to finish that off. I couldn't risk him hitting me with another auto attack and finishing me off there. That's why I backed up there. I had to rely on Bacchus to finish that off, which is fine. He did it, and I had full confidence he would. But it was definitely a close call. That was a risk. If I didn't have the pillar there, I wouldn't have even gone for that. But I knew I could duck behind the pillar if I really needed to. And I did need to. Yeah, he's hitting really hard. Is he building? Yeah, he is building crits. That's why. Let me see. Yeah. You're spooky. I get it. Alright, just checking some builds here. Yep, we're fine. What are you doing, Step Atlas? Lurking behind a pillar like that? Kind of want one of the tanks. But then I'm a hunter. I can do that. There you go. Just weaken them down a little bit. I don't care about this crowd control because the enemy mages weren't close enough to make that matter. So I was fine with that. I can't see anything going on. Okay. Okay, she's moving up real quick under the cover of night. That was good. That was a good play. Not good enough to kill me, but good play. Got this done. Hold on. No minions allowed. Thank you. Goodbye. Nope. Alright. That kind of hurt. Can we get Discordia? Her jump is down, I think. It was down. Oh, I got a beads. Discordia can kill me. I don't want that to happen. I'm also stuck in minions here. There we go. We got to get out of here. This is bad. Oh, this is very bad. Backflip out of that. Okay, I'm going to probably just straight up die here. There's not really a whole lot I'm likely to be able to do about this. I was hoping to take some people with me, but that clearly is not going to happen. We were all too far up. We're going to grab Corrupted Bluestone. It's going to give me the protections I will definitely be needing because they're starting to focus me out now. Attack speed increase. A little extra damage there. Alright. Okay. That's fine. He's still got his dash up. I don't know why. Oh, that's why she was trying to kill someone specifically. Alright. I'm afraid that if I go after Shibulonka, I'm going to get singled out. Okay, good. Good prediction. She's still in there. Aegis? Yeah, Aegis. Alright, we're just going to focus on this Minotaur thing then. We're going to set up a weave here, and then we're going to hit it for double hits. Absolutely fantastic. Okay. Does someone have... Yeah, she does. I was going to say, someone has Gem of ISO. It's Discordia. I thought it was, but I wasn't sure. Why are we... That's fine. There's not really a serious amount of enemies right here. There's Tiamat right there, though. That's a totally different story. Alright. Gotta clear the wave. Not sure Nox is going to, so I will. Alright. Just looking for an opportunity. Thank you, Aphrodite. Not sure why Amaterasu was back there. What is this? Hello? Okay. No, I don't want to be there because Tiamat and the other mages are coming in. Oh, holy cow, you're going to kill me. Because crits. Back up. Thank you, Bacchus. We're going to need this. We're going to need this. I did get it. Okay, there we go. Okay. Doing good. We're doing good. That's damage Bacchus. Okay, I'm really glad I built Shifter's Shield. Egads. Come on, Discordia. I got a little bit of damage on me. That's fine. Good. Beads and backflip. Give me that healing. Nope, don't get pulled in. There we go. You're going pretty hardcore on me, huh? Don't care. No big slammer for me. Okay. Heal up and get back in there. We have... Amaterasu died. It's a shame, but it's still a good episode to demonstrate exactly what my thought process was here. What I was thinking about when going for my build. What I was thinking about when going into a fight. Again, you'll notice that my primary concern was not necessarily the crowd control itself, but my primary concern was how close or far away the enemy damage dealers were in respect to that. Also, I really only was keeping an eye, on them generally. And that was generally... I keep saying generally. That was what I was looking at. Right? Shibulonka was capable of outdamaging me on a one-on-one basis because he built crits. But in a general situation where, with a team fight, which is what Arena primarily is, I really wanted to do what I was doing, which was do the roots, do a large amount of damage, get myself heal, and generally overall perform very strongly. Now you'll notice that in the early game, I was really not playing too high risk. I was really trying to stay back and deal with just minions, building my stacks, building up my gold, and then as the game progressed, primarily once I got Hydro Cement, I was really more willing to get out there and get aggressive with it, right? Now, don't take the way I build as gospel, please. This is just the way I'm comfortable building in Arena. You're going to have your own little ways. If you want to start with this and then adapt it to how you play, maybe you're more aggressive and Transcendence is too slow for you, that's fine, right? This is just how I'm more comfortable playing and why, right? This is just how I find it to work. Now, I mentioned earlier that there's a mild difference between mage competing and non-mage competing hunters, right? The primary difference is your third item. If you're building Transcendence as your second item for a non-mage competing hunter, you need Oboe as your third, because otherwise you're not going to be able to compete with the mages. You're not going to get your stacks because the mages will be gobbling them all up. Oboe helps with that because that's going to give you that chain lightning. Any enemy that dies to the chain lightning is still a stack. That's going to get you the stacks you need. Okay? Otherwise, other than that mild adjustment, again, if you're building stacks, either Devourer's Gauntlet or Transcendence, and you are a non-mage competing hunter, you gotta get that Oboe. But that's how I typically approach. Again, another difference, actually, I want to mention this really quick. Non-mage competing hunters, or any hunter that doesn't have a slew of abilities that deal damage, I'll typically build the Cowl on, because that, I think it's 17% attack speed, that it, from both the passive being your enemies, being your allies, and also the 7% it has naturally, that's a pretty substantial attack speed bonus for that early in the game, and that's really helpful for those more auto-attack focused hunters who don't have a full kit of abilities that deal damage. So, generally speaking, that's how I approach this, how I approach playing a hunter in Arena, and generally team fights. The enemy team did not have a true assassin here, so in this particular, I didn't talk about what you need to adjust in regards to assassins. That will be something I'll probably be picking up and talking about in Slash and scaling up to Conquest, right? This lays a nice foundation to approach team fights in general. In the next episode, I'll be talking about Joust and clearing towers and how my build adjusts for towers very specifically. Okay? So with that being said, thank you all very much for joining me. If you liked this, please like and subscribe. If you didn't, please ignore me. And if you have any comments, questions, concerns, ideas, suggestions, or requests, please leave them down in the comment section below. And thank you all very much for joining me, and have a great 24 hours.